How's it going, guys? My name is Checker and welcome to today's video. Today we are taking a look at every single legendary Hyperion SMG in the base game of Borderlands 3. Last time we took a look at every single legendary Vladoff AR. Today, once again, taking a look at every single legendary Hyperion SMG. We have a total of 5 weapons on this list. All but one of them is farmable via world drops. So let's start off this list looking at the bankrolled Predatory Lending. This is the only gun on this list that you have to go to a specific spot to get. The Predatory Lending is dropped by the Lavender Crawley. It's a crew challenge here in Pandora, really easy to get to early on in the game. However, this weapon's unique ability makes it potentially not that great for early on in the game. What is that ability? Well, if you guys can tell, this thing is not using traditional ammo, it's using your money. It just burns through money. So if you're early on in the game and you're saving up for some SDUs or something like that, then this is probably not the best gun for you. It does chew through a decent amount of money. However, once you're leveled up and once you start getting a lot more money, it's really not an issue. Now, this also does not appear to work with Moses' bottomless mags ability, so I mean, keep that in mind as well. But the bankrolled Predatory Lending is a really cool gun. I love it. When you have the money to spend, I mean, it's a great way to spend it. It's a fun way to spend it. Red text reads, bullets are cheap, but not that cheap. Mine happens to be an anointed cryo one, and gotta say, guys, I just love this thing. It's so much fun. Maybe not the best when using a bottomless mags Mose, but still lots of fun on other characters, and I would highly recommend picking one up at some point in the game, maybe preferably later in the game. Moving on, we have what I would consider to be one of the better guns in the base game of Borderlands 3. The Crossroad is a beast of an SMG. Red text reads, open the gate for me. I have seen a lot of elements on these. My favorite, of course, would be the radiation, but I have not seen one with no element on it, so it kind of leads me to believe that this has to have an element on it. But the Crossroad is a burst fire SMG, and this thing just pretty much shreds everything. Ammo consumption is relatively high, and it does actually work somewhat decently with bottomless mags on Mose. My biggest complaint about this gun is the reload speed and the time to empty your magazine. You just kind of burn through all that ammo in the clip, and reloading is just kind of annoying. That's really the only complaint I have with this gun. It's acceptably accurate, but I think the pros of this gun simply just outweigh all of the cons. I love it. It's one of my favorite guns in the whole game so far. I'm also a huge fan of the skin that's on there. I think it looks great. Not that that really affects performance or anything. I just personally love the skin that's on it, and I'm always pleasantly surprised to see this when it world drops for me. It's just an overall great gun if you can find one. Moving on, we have yet again another really cool Hyperion SMG. A lot of you guys are going to love this one, the Handsome Jackhammer. Yes, this is the Handsome Jack gun, or I suppose there are actually, I believe there are 2 Handsome Jack guns. There's like a Handsome Jackie, or wait, is that the enemy that you farmed the other one from? Whatever. I think the other one's Jacob's shotgun, I believe. Anyway, I'll have a video going up on that, but the Handsome Jackhammer is once again one of my favorite guns in the game, simply because it's a Handsome Jack gun and it's actually quite good. Red text reads, everyone thinks they are a hero of their own story. Mine happens to be cryo. I haven't seen any other elements other than cryo. However, I do believe that this can have pretty much any element on it. I've just been personally getting a ton of cryo ones for some reason. 2 things make this SMG unique. Number 1, it talks to you. It's in Handsome Jack's voice. And number 2, when you reload it, you're actually throwing it like a TDR weapon. When thrown, the weapon bounces around and explodes on impact. It actually deals some pretty significant damage too. It's not going around and tickling all those COV, no, it's going around and punching them in the face and dealing some pretty significant damage. Once again, I'm a huge fan of the skin on this gun. It has a really nice Hyperion yellow to it. Moving on, we have the Powerhouse. Yep, making a return to Borderlands 3. Red text reads, if you can't handle me at my worst, ... I think you kinda get it. I happen to have a big ol' spike on the front of mine, giving me a plus 60% melee damage, and this weapon has a unique ability. Damage to projected front-facing shield amplifies weapon damage. It's quite weird. I've never really taken advantage of that ability either. Thing is, in Borderlands 3, you can just aim down there or shoot from the hip, and it's so much more accurate than it was in Borderlands 2. And if you couple that with the fact that it's a Hyperion weapon, it's getting more accurate as you shoot it, I don't really see the need to aim down sights. So So for me, it's a really cool ability, but just personally something that I don't take advantage of that often. Damage on mine also happens to be quite low. This is obviously going to be impacted by the parts on the gun that you have. Mine also is non-elemental. However, I believe you can get pretty much any element on this. It's a good, solid SMG. Probably not the best Hyperion legendary SMG, but I mean, it's decent. If you're coming across this when you're still leveling your character, this is going to be a pretty good option for you. But once you're level 50 and just going around and trying to get the best possible loot, this is kind of just okay in my opinion. But nonetheless, happy to see it here return in Borderlands 3. Moving on to the last weapon on this list, we have the Hyperfocus XZ41. Really not much to say here. It's a pretty standard Hyperion SMG. I happen to have a really good anointment on this. When I'm using Phase Slam on Amara, this thing just absolutely melts. After using Phase Slam, weapon damage is increased by 300% for a short time. So for me, it's been a really awesome gun. I absolutely love it, but I kind of only love it because of that anointment. Otherwise, it's just kind of, you know, your standard Hyperion legendary. So for me, it's been a really good gun, but I can't help but feel that's only because of the anointment on there. And really, the other XZ41s that I've had are just kind of meh. I mean, don't get me wrong, this is still a legendary Hyperion SMG. It's still pretty good. But again, if we're talking endgame stuff, endgame loot, this is just kind of, it's fine. It's meh. Not really a whole lot else I can talk about with this weapon. If you guys did enjoy this video, make sure to leave a like. You guys really seem to enjoy that last video, the flat FARs. I'll be doing some more of these here, so if you guys are new, make sure to subscribe. But thanks guys for watching. Hope you guys did enjoy, and I, of course, will talk to you guys next time.